Hello and a very good morning. It's just past 8 this Wednesday morning and we are back again with all the news and breakfast news. I am Nancy Kohli and with me is Preeti, and over the next 1 hour we'll get you news from across the nation, world sports, business updates, all the headlines in the next 1 hour.
Yes, we'll get to everything that's making it to the headlines. Stay with us for the next 1 hour. We'll get to, as Nancy said, everything from the national politics, from international politics. Also, we'll get you updates from sports business. We'll get to the details of how significant had been Donald Trump's maiden visit to India. Added to that, we'll also get you the stories on health segment, and also one story which we get for you every day, that is the Good News India story, which has that feel-good factor with it. Stay with us for the next 1 hour. First, we get to the headlines.
Union Home Minister Amit Shah holds a high-level meeting to review the law and order situation in the national capital after violence erupted in the northeast Delhi. The Delhi police takes stock of the situation, appeals for peace. The CBSE postpones examinations in affected areas scheduled for today.
National Security Advisor Ajit Doval visits Deputy Commissioner of Police Northeast Office in Selampur to review the current security situation. Union Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan visits hospital to meet injured in the violence erupted in northeast Delhi.
US President Donald Trump addresses the media, says Prime Minister Modi stands for religious freedom of all the sections and the CAA is an internal matter of India. Terms his visit as very successful.
India and the US inked 3 agreements in the fields of energy, health and pharma sectors. Trump announces $3 billion defense agreement. Prime Minister Modi says India and US have agreed to take bilateral cooperation to the level of comprehensive global strategic partnership.
Supreme Court to hear the pleas demanding the removal of anti-CAA protesters from Shaheen Bagh. A PIL petition was filed in the Supreme Court to open the closed roads due to the protests.
And Gnabry scores twice as Chelsea is outclassed by Bayern Munich in the last 16 first leg tie of the Champions League. Real Madrid to take on Manchester City today.
And let's now get you all the top stories. Let's first begin.
Yes, we'll get you details of the Delhi violence. Yesterday, Union Home Minister Amit Shah has said that adequate forces have been deployed in the affected areas of the national capital and the situation is under control. He chaired a meeting to discuss the current situation in the national capital after violence erupted in northeast Delhi over the issue of Citizenship Amendment Act.
Union Home Minister Amit Shah chaired a high-level meeting on Tuesday to discuss the prevailing situation in the national capital after violence in northeast Delhi over the amended citizenship law. The meeting was attended by Delhi LG Anil Baijal, Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, Commissioner of Police Amulya Patnaik and others. The Home Minister urged everyone to maintain restraint and rise above party lines to find solution, and that cadres of political parties must be given assurance that the situation is under control. He also appealed to the people and the media to avoid spreading rumours and unverified information and reactivate local peace committees. He also said additional forces may be deployed in affected areas according to the requirement. He urged political parties to avoid provocative speeches and statements which could flare up the situation. Delhi LG Anil Baijal and Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal also urged everyone to refrain from indulging in violence.
आज के माहौल में हमें सब कुछ करना चाहिए जिससे कि अमन और शांति बनी रहे, जैसी दिल्ली की वो है, और जैसे भी हो सके हमें जो हमारे पुलिस पर्सनल हैं, फोर्सेस के लोग हैं, उनकी मदद करनी चाहिए और तभी अमन शांति कायम हो।
सभी पार्टियां मिलके और सभी पॉलिटिकल रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स मिलके दिल्ली में वापस शांति बहाल करने के लिए जो भी संभव प्रयास है, हम सब संभव प्रयास करेंगे। सभी अथॉरिटीज़ ने और गृह मंत्री जी ने आश्वासन दिया है कि जितनी भी पुलिस की कोई कमी नहीं होने देंगे, जो भी ज़रूरत पड़ेगी हम सब लोग मिलके करेंगे।
BJP's Manoj Tiwari and Rambir Budhuri and Congress leader Subhash Chopra also attended the meeting. The leader said police-MLA coordination has to be enhanced and workers of different political parties should join hands so that peace is restored.
हम लगातार लोगों में शांति बनाने के लिए, संयम बरतने के लिए अपील कर रहे हैं। और ऐसे समय में पूरे दिल्ली को जहाँ जहाँ ये अशांति की घटनाएं हुई हैं, मैं सभी लोगों से लगातार प्रार्थना कर रहा हूँ और जो कुछ भी हुआ है बहुत दुखद है।
A Delhi police head constable has been killed and a deputy commissioner of police injured as clashes over the amended citizenship law broke out again in northeast Delhi's Jafrabad and Mojpur on Monday. The protesters torched homes, shops and vehicles. They even hurled stones at each other. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court has agreed to hear an application filed by former Chief Information Commissioner Wajahat Habibullah and others seeking lodging of FIRs with regard to the recent violence in Delhi over the amended citizenship law. The application was mentioned for urgent listing before a bench of Justice S.K. Koval and K.M. Joseph. The bench agreed to hear the matter on Wednesday. Newsnight Desk, DD India.
Delhi Police Commissioner Amulya Patnaik has said that adequate police force is deployed in the violence-affected areas of northeast Delhi and the police is making all the efforts to bring the situation under control. He said miscreants fomenting violence in the area will not be spared.
नॉर्थ ईस्ट डिस्ट्रिक्ट जहाँ पर ये प्रॉब्लम्स चल रहा है वहाँ पर सफिशिएंट फोर्स डिप्लॉय किया गया है। दिल्ली पुलिस के साथ दिल्ली आर्म्ड पुलिस तथा सेंट्रल पैरामिलिट्री फोर्सेस भी डिप्लॉयड है। सीनियर अफसरान एक्स्ट्रा भेजे गए हैं जो इलाके में फोर्स के साथ एरिया विजिबिलिटी और डोमिनेशन वगैरह कर रहे हैं। तो कुछ अंदर की गलियों से कुछ इंसिडेंट्स ज़रूर रिपोर्ट हो रहे हैं, उसको पुलिस रिस्पॉन्ड करके कंट्रोल कर रहा है। और इस पे एक बात क्लियरली बताना चाहेंगे कि उस एरिया में कुछ जगहों में सेक्शन 144 CRPC ऑलरेडी प्रोमोलगेटेड है, तो उसको कोई वायलेट ना करें और शांति बनाए रखें। कुछ मिसक्रिएंट्स अगर कानून को हाथ में लेने की कोशिश करेंगे तो उनके खिलाफ सख्त कानूनी कार्रवाई की जाएगी।
Senior IPS officer S.N. Shrivastava has been appointed as Special Commissioner Law and Order with immediate effect. Shrivastava earlier headed the elite Special Cell of Delhi Police. In the past, he has served as Special DG Jammu and Kashmir Zone of the CRPF.
And following protests in the northeast Delhi, the National Security Advisor Ajit Doval last night visited the office of the Deputy Commissioner of Police Northeast in Silampur to review the current security situation. The intervention by the NSA came minutes after the Union Home Minister Amit Shah called for a third meeting with the Delhi police and his ministry officials on late last evening. The National Security Advisor also visited the violence-hit areas to conduct a first-hand review of the situation. Parts of northeast Delhi, including Jafrabad, Mojpur and Babarpur, have been in the center of the clashes. And let's now go across to our correspondent Sudhakar Das, who is joining us on the phone line with more inputs on that. Sudhakar, of course, those adequate security arrangements being taken to make sure that the situation does not get out of control, and those guilty for propagating, instigating violence will be, the action against them will be taken and they will not be spared. These review measures, these security measures coming in very important. Just take us through what more plans have been put forth by the administration to make sure situation doesn't worsen.
जी बिल्कुल प्रीति, निश्चित तौर पर एक तरह से सीधे कह सकते हैं कि केंद्र सरकार बेहद ही गंभीरता से, बेहद ही संवेदनशील तरीके से पूरी स्थिति पर नजर रख रही है, कार्रवाई कर रही है। और खासतौर से अगर देखा जाए तो कल देर रात खुद राष्ट्रीय सुरक्षा सलाहकार अजीत डोवाल पहुंचे डीसीपी जो नॉर्थ ईस्ट दिल्ली हैं उनके दफ्तर में, और पुलिस के आला अधिकारियों के साथ उन्होंने बैठक ली, पूरी स्थिति का जायजा लिया, कहाँ क्या सुरक्षा व्यवस्था दी जा रही है उसके बारे में पूरी जानकारी ली। और उसके बाद वो खुद जो ग्राउंड सिचुएशन है उसकी जानकारी लेने के लिए जो कुछ डिस्टर्ब एरिया रहे थे पिछले 2 दिनों में, उनका भी उन्होंने देर रात दौरा किया। करीब 1.5-2 घंटे का समय उन्होंने उन इलाकों में बिताया। जो ग्राउंड पर जो पुलिसमैन काम कर रहे हैं उनसे जानकारी ली, उनका हौसला बढ़ाया, उनको तमाम तरह के निर्देश दिए। तो काफी कह सकते हैं कि ये एक तरह से जो ये लीडरशिप के रोल में उन्होंने भूमिका निभाई, उसकी वजह से भी काफी फर्क पड़ा है, हौसला बढ़ाया उन्होंने पुलिस कर्मियों का। और साफ तौर से उन्होंने निर्देश दिए हैं कि लॉ एंड ऑर्डर सिचुएशन को मेंटेन करने के लिए, कानून व्यवस्था को मेंटेन करने के लिए बिल्कुल दृढ़ता से, सख्ती से कार्रवाई की जाए, और ये जरूर निर्देश दिए गए हैं। और इसका असर भी दिखा है। रात में अगर कुछ छुटपुट घटनाओं को छोड़ दिया जाए तो अमूमन शांति रही। हमको पता है कि 4 इलाकों में कर्फ्यू भी लगाया गया था रात में। आज फिर उसका तमाम चीजों का रिव्यू करके फिर आगे की स्थिति के बारे में या आगे के लिए कदम उठाए जाएंगे, ये कहा गया है। तो सबसे पहली जो नजर है दिल्ली पुलिस की, सुरक्षा एजेंसियों की, केंद्रीय गृह मंत्रालय की, सबसे पहले जो सुरक्षा व्यवस्था वो पुख्ता हो, पुलिस प्रेजेंस, पैरामिलिट्री फोर्सेस हो या रैपिड एक्शन फोर्स हो, उसकी प्रेजेंस जो प्रभावित इलाके हैं वहां दिखाई दे, चाहे फ्लैग मार्च के जरिए, चाहे पेट्रोलिंग और ज्यादा बढ़ा के, तो वो एक इंश्योर किया गया है। दूसरी चीज जो की जा रही है, जो उपद्रवी या इस तरह की घटनाओं को हिंसा फैलाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, उन पर नजर रखी जा रही है और साथ ही साथ जिन्होंने इन घटनाओं को अंजाम दिया उनकी भी पहचान की जा रही है। और तीसरी जो चीज है, जो लोकल पीस कमिटीज के सहारे कल भी कई बैठकें हुई थी पुलिस ने और स्थानीय प्रशासन ने, उनके सहारे जो सिचुएशन को काम डाउन करने की और साथ ही साथ सामान्य स्थिति बहाल करने की कोशिश की जा रही है। तो लगातार पूरी स्थिति पर शीर्ष स्तर से केंद्र सरकार नजर भी बनाए हुए है।
Right. All right. Sudhakar, you're telling us about the measures which have been taken, and also we've apprised our viewers about the efforts which have been made by the Union Home Ministry as well. Let us know more as to how does the ministry, how does the administration gauge the situation to be, because indeed the way the unrest was seen is alarming, but at the same time panic and rumors also play a very important role in such sensitive time. So how are those to be dealt with?
जी बिल्कुल, देखिए खासतौर से सोशल मीडिया के जरिए कई ऐसी तस्वीरें, ऐसे वीडियो कल आप लोगों के बीच शेयर किए गए जो दिल्ली से रिलेटेड थे ही नहीं या बहुत पुरानी घटनाओं की तस्वीरें थे। तो लोगों को सलाह दी जा रही है, दिल्ली पुलिस ने भी ये सलाह दी है और ऐसे लोगों पर नजर भी बनाई गई है कि जो सोशल मीडिया के सहारे वायलेंस इंसाइट करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। लोगों को सलाह दी गई है कि इस तरह के फॉल्स प्रोपागेंडा में जो हाफ ट्रूथ है उसको लेकर ना जाए, अनवेरिफाइड विजुअल्स या तस्वीरों को शेयर ना करें, हिंसा जिससे भड़कने की संभावना हो उस तरह की चीजों को ना करे। अगर सोशल मीडिया पर इस तरह की कार्रवाई लोग करते हैं तो वो कानूनी पचड़े में भी फंस सकते हैं। उन पर दिल्ली पुलिस की तरफ से कार्रवाई की जाएगी। सोशल मीडिया की भी पूरी निगरानी की जा रही है, पैनी नजर उस पर भी रखी जा रही है। यहाँ तक कि जो टीवी चैनल्स हैं उनके लिए भी निर्देश जारी किया गया है। कई कुछ तस्वीरें ऐसी आई थी जो उससे हिंसा भड़कने का खतरा हो सकता था। उसके बाद केंद्र सरकार ने तमाम टीवी चैनल्स को भी बोला है कि वो संयम बरते विजुअल्स दिखाने में और तमाम स्टोरीज दिखाने में, और बिना वेरीफाई किए उन स्टोरीज को ना दिखाया जाए पुलिस या प्रशासन से। तो ये तमाम चीजें कही गई हैं।
All right, Sudhakar, thanks very much for joining us for the moment and sharing all those details into perspective. So security apparatus has been tightened, confidence building measures are being taken and strict vigil being maintained, and false propaganda it's being made sure that should not be propagated. In fact, misuse of social media is something that's also being taken very seriously, and utmost caution is being exercised to make sure that situation doesn't worsen from here on.
Yes, that was it on the current situation and also the efforts which are being made. Let's get you more. Union Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan and Delhi BJP Chief Manoj Tiwari yesterday night visited the GTB hospital to meet the people who had sustained injuries in the clashes that broke out in several parts of the national capital. Speaking to media after meeting the injured, the Health Minister said that he has instructed the hospital administration and doctors to provide the best treatment to the injured. The Union Minister further appealed to the people of Delhi to not pay attention to the rumours and keep calm and peace at such times.
ये जितने भी लोग यहाँ मरीज एडमिटेड हैं इस समय, जिनके विभिन्न स्टेजेस में लगभग जो प्रिलिमिनरी ट्रीटमेंट्स हैं सबके हो चुके हैं, कुछ एक का ऑपरेशन अभी हो रहा था अंदर, तो ये जल्दी से जल्दी ठीक हो और ठीक होकर घर पर अपने वापस लौटें। ये जो भी दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण घटना हुई है पिछले 2 दिनों में दिल्ली के इस इलाके में, तो मेरी सभी से प्रार्थना है समाज के अंदर कि अफवाहों पर हम विश्वास ना करें और जल्दी से जल्दी हम समाज में स्थिति को सामान्य लाने के लिए सब लोग मिलकर प्रयास करें।
And meanwhile, the Central Board of Secondary Education, the CBSE, has postponed the board examinations for Class 10th and Class 12 scheduled for today in the Northeast Delhi. There are a total of 86 centres in Northeast Delhi. While Class 10 students had the English examination as the subject to appear for, Class 12 students and optional examinations including web application and the media. The examination will be conducted in rest parts of the national capital as per earlier schedule, and a fresh date for the examination in the Northeast Delhi will be announced shortly. Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia announced that schools in the area would continue to be closed today.
Meanwhile, the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting has issued an advisory for television channels asking them to avoid visuals which are likely to encourage or incite violence. The advisory asks channels to ensure that no content is telecast which is violative of the Program and Advertising Codes as described in the Cable Television Network Regulation Act 1995. The advisory has come after fresh violence erupted through Northeast Delhi on Tuesday.
And the Delhi police has appealed for peace and calm. In the last 2 days, some incidents of stone pelting, arson and damage to property have occurred in some pockets of Northeast Delhi. And the Delhi police is making all the earnest efforts, including deployment of reinforcement and involving respectable citizens to the area to restore the normalcy. Therefore, it is appealed to all the citizens of Delhi to cooperate with the Delhi police in maintaining peace and harmony in the national capital. They are also advised to not lend an ear to rumour mongers and unverified messages being circulated on the social media. The Delhi police has also kept strict vigil on such mischievous elements and miscreants. Strict legal action will be taken against those who are found involved in these incidents. It is also urged that social media platforms should use the platform with responsibility, and public cooperation is solicited in maintaining peace and calm.
US President Donald Trump praised Prime Minister Narendra Modi's efforts to promote religious freedom in the country. Replying to a question on CAA, the US President said that issues involving the Citizenship Amendment Act are up to India. He asserted that Prime Minister Narendra Modi wants people to have religious freedom.
What is your position at the moment on India's Citizen Amendment Act at the moment?
I don't want to discuss that. I want to leave that to India, and hopefully they're going to make the right decision for the people. That's really up to India.
Moving on now, the Supreme Court will also hear pleas seeking removal of the crowd protesting against the CAA from Delhi's Shaheen Bagh area. The apex court had adjourned the hearing in the matter after the interlocutors appointed by it submitted their report in a sealed cover on Monday. The two amicus curiae submitted their report in a sealed cover to the apex court. The Supreme Court appointed mediators had last week engaged with the anti-CAA protesters for shifting the venue from Shaheen Bagh. The top court had last week appointed senior advocates Sanjay Hegde, Sadhana Ramachandran and former bureaucrat Wajahat Habibullah as the interlocutors to talk to the protesters and urge them to clear the road and protest at an alternate site.
US President Donald Trump wrapped up his maiden visit to India. The US President and the US First Lady were on a two-day visit to India. The US President has termed his visit as very successful. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and US President Donald Trump held extensive talks covering the entire spectrum of bilateral ties, including the key areas of defense, security, trade and investment. In his brief remarks at the talks, Prime Minister Modi welcomed US President and thanked him for taking time out for the visit to India.
These images at Hyderabad House indicate the level of ease shared by US President Donald Trump and Prime Minister Narendra Modi before the bilateral talks began. It was vividly clear from the chemistry shared by the two world leaders that both countries are ready to move ahead on all the important issues. The two countries discussed extensively on all aspects of bilateral relations, including issues of cooperation in areas of defense, security, trade and investment. Both the leaders termed bilateral talks as extremely productive at the joint press conference, where Prime Minister Modi also announced the decision to upgrade the relationship to a comprehensive global strategic partnership.
ये फिर से स्पष्ट हुआ कि अमेरिका और भारत के संबंध सिर्फ दो सरकारों के बीच नहीं है, बल्कि पीपल ड्रिवन है, पीपल सेंट्रिक है। यह संबंध 21वीं सदी की सबसे महत्वपूर्ण पार्टनरशिप में है और इसलिए आज राष्ट्रपति ट्रंप और मैंने हमारे संबंधों को कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव ग्लोबल स्ट्रेटेजिक पार्टनरशिप के स्तर पर ले जाने का निर्णय लिया है।
US President Trump also referred to the strong thread of Indo-US relations and said that the relationship between the two countries led by Prime Minister Modi has never been at the same heights before. Trump described the friendship as unforgettable, extraordinary and productive. The issue of terrorism and fundamentalism also arose in the talks and both leaders resolved to work together on the subject.
Prime Minister Modi and I affirmed our two countries' commitment to protecting our citizens from radical Islamic terrorism.
आतंक के समर्थकों को जिम्मेदार ठहराने के लिए आज हमने अपने प्रयासों को और बढ़ाने का निश्चय किया है।
Both the leaders put special emphasis on taking defense cooperation to the next level. Prime Minister Modi said that defense and security cooperation between the two countries is an important part of the strategic partnership. Both sides have also agreed on a defense deal worth over $3 billion.
I know Prime Minister Modi will agree that this has been a very productive visit for both of our countries. Earlier today, we expanded our defense cooperation with agreements for India to purchase more than $3 billion of advanced American military equipment, including Apache and MH-60 Romeo helicopters, the finest in the world. These deals will enhance our joint defense capabilities as our militaries continue to train and operate side by side.
Leveraging their personal chemistry, Prime Minister Modi and President Trump have forged Indo-US relationship into comprehensive global strategic partnership, which has great potential to transform world power dynamics. With inputs from Sudhakar Das, DD India.
President Ramnath Kovind and First Lady Savita Kovind hosted President Donald Trump and the US's First Lady Melania Trump for a grand banquet. Playing the perfect host, President Kovind gave the first couple a guided tour of the president's house. Let's see more in this report.
Rashtrapati Bhavan awash in the hues of hospitality. President Ramnath Kovind and First Lady Savita Kovind hosted President Donald Trump and US First Lady Melania Trump for a grand banquet. Playing the perfect host, President Kovind gave the first couple a guided tour of the president's house. Beginning in the forecourt, the president explained the history behind the Rampurva bull. A mixture of Indian and Persian elements, it is a masterpiece of Indian craftsmanship. The Rampurva bull sculpture is said to have a velvet touch. Weighing up to 5 tons, this invaluable artifact became a part of Rashtrapati Bhavan in the year 1948 after it came back from Burlington House, London, where it had gone to take part in a grand exhibition of Indian art. Walking into the grand simplicity of Rashtrapati Bhavan's Darbar Hall, one of the most regal rooms of the presidential palace, President Kovind told his distinguished guests about the 5th century AD statue of Lord Buddha on a crimson velvet background. In front of this statue is placed the president's chair. The two leaders sat down for an informal chat before heading for the banquet hall. President Kovind warmly welcomed his American counterpart.
Your first ever visit to India as President of the United States was eagerly awaited. It is an honor for us to host you. Excellency, the attention and interest which your visit has generated in India is truly remarkable. This shows the respect and goodwill of the people of India for you as well as the United States.
Did a lot of work over the last 2 days. We did a lot of flying to get here, but a lot of work and very productive work. And we've seen a good deal of your country, and it's a great country. The relationship has never been better between India and the United States. And as you know, we're working on major trade deals and military purchase deals and a lot of other things, and very positive things.
After introducing President Trump to the guests in his banquet address, President Kovind hailed the role of people of Indian origin in the United States who have made significant contributions.
The bedrock of Indian and American society has been hard-working, middle-class families, and that is what makes us understand each other instinctively. Over 4 million people of Indian origin have made America their home. They are a living bridge between the American dream and our vision of New India.
President Trump reciprocated, highlighting the new high in US-India ties.
We're going to have a tremendous relationship, a long and great relationship. We are right now, we were saying today, we are right now better friends than we ever were in the history of our countries.
President Kovind gifted President Trump an album and capturing memories of his maiden India visit as president. President Trump also left a warm message in the visitor's book. The grandeur of Rashtrapati Bhavan was the perfect backdrop for the perfect host to bid adieu to President Donald Trump. Power-packed 36 hours, in President Trump's words, proved to be memorable and historic. Bureau Report, DD India.
And India and US signed 3 key MOUs during extensive talks covering the entire spectrum of the bilateral ties. Now, these MOUs were announced following delegation-level talks between Prime Minister Modi and US President Donald Trump. Issuing the joint press statement, Prime Minister Modi said that relations between both the countries are people-to-people centric and people-driven.
Even before the arrival of President Trump, discussion on trade and agreement between both countries had begun. Tuesday's joint press statement by the two leaders made it clear that there has been forward movement at the ministerial level and in the future this will yield good results.
पिछले 3 वर्षों में हमारे द्विपक्षीय व्यापार में डबल डिजिट ग्रोथ हुई है। जहां तक बायलैटरल ट्रेड का सवाल है, हमारे कॉमर्स मिनिस्टर्स के बीच सकारात्मक वार्ताएं हुई हैं। राष्ट्रपति ट्रंप और मैं आज सहमत हुए हैं कि हमारे कॉमर्स मिनिस्टर के बीच जो अंडरस्टैंडिंग बनी है उसे हमारी टीम्स लीगल रूप दें।
Another major focus of my discussions with Prime Minister Modi is forging bilateral economic relationships that is fair and reciprocal. Our teams have made tremendous progress on a comprehensive trade agreement, and I'm optimistic we can reach a deal that will be of great importance to both countries.
3 MOUs were signed between India and America, including 1 letter of oil cooperation to boost energy ties. This letter of cooperation was signed between Indian Oil Corporation Limited and Exxon Mobil India LNG Limited and Chart Industries Inc. US. The move can significantly increase the use of the clean fuel in the country and deepen the rapidly growing US-India energy ties. Both countries signed an MOU in the area of mental health. Apart from this, an MOU for the safety of medical products was inked as well. The bilateral discussions stressed on people-to-people contact. PM Modi also said that the most important foundation of the special relationship between India and US is people-to-people contact. He further said that Indian diaspora has played a key role in strengthening the US economy.
यूएसए में इंडियन डायस्पोरा भारत के ये एम्बेसडर्स ना सिर्फ अपने टैलेंट और परिश्रम से यूएसए की अर्थव्यवस्था में कंट्रीब्यूट कर रहे हैं, बल्कि अपने डेमोक्रेटिक वैल्यूज और समृद्ध कल्चर से अमेरिकन सोसाइटी को भी एनरिच कर रहे हैं।
Prime Minister further said that India and US is also establishing new initiatives of partnership, innovation and enterprise emerging technologies of the 21st century. Both leaders also dwelt upon a whole host of issues during talks, including 5G telecom technology, situation in the Indo-Pacific, smuggling of drugs, organized crime, cybersecurity, maritime security. Both sides also agreed on having a new mechanism to tackle serious concerns like drug trafficking, narco-terrorism, and other organized crimes. The US International Development Finance Corporation will be establishing a permanent presence in India, and America is committed to work with India to improve development. It was clear from the bilateral talks that Indo-US relations are said to be one of the most important partnerships of the 21st century. With Sudhakar Das, Bureau Report, DD News.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi in a tweet has said that he was delighted that the President of the United States, Donald Trump, and the First Lady of the United States, Melania Trump, saw different aspects of Indian culture and hospitality. The people of India welcomed them with immense warmth. The Prime Minister thanked the President of the US, Donald Trump, First Lady Melania Trump for coming to India. He said that this visit has been a path-breaking one and that they have covered great ground as far as strengthening bilateral relations are concerned. The India-US friendship benefits the people of our nations and the world.
And biennial elections for 55 Rajya Sabha seats from 17 states will be held on 26th of March. Now, these seats are falling vacant in April this year due to retirement of Rajya Sabha members. Notifications for the biennial elections will be issued on 6th March and 13th March is the last date for filing nominations. Scrutiny of nominations will be done on 16th March and the last date for withdrawal of candidature is 18th of March. Counting will be taken up on the same evening, that is 26th of March, after an hour of the conclusion of the polls. Prominent leaders who are retiring in April are NCP leader Sharad Pawar, Union Minister Ramdas Athavale, Congress veteran Motilal Vora, Digvijay Singh of Congress and former Union Minister Vijay Goel. Maximum 7 seats are falling vacant in the Maharashtra, in the state of Maharashtra, followed by 6 seats in Tamil Nadu.
Moving on now, 26th of February marks the first anniversary of the Balakot airstrike that was launched by the Indian Air Force to target the terror camps operating in Balakot in the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province of Pakistan. This was the first time since the 1971 war that India's armed forces had crossed an international border to carry out a preemptive attack. The airstrike was carried out after Pakistan-backed Jaish-e-Mohammed carried out a suicide attack on a CRPF convoy in Jammu and Kashmir's Pulwama district. 40 CRPF personnel had lost their lives in the attack.
And India will today send a transport aircraft to the novel coronavirus hit Wuhan to deliver medical supplies and relief material. On the return, it will also bring back more Indians following a clearance from China. As informed by Ministry of External Affairs, departure of the Indian flight to Wuhan is being planned for February 26th and the evacuees will arrive on February 27th. Earlier, the transport aircraft was scheduled to fly on February 20th to Wuhan, but was waiting for clearance from the Chinese side. Items being supplied are gloves, surgical masks, feeding and infusion pumps, and defibrillators based on requirements as indicated by the Chinese side.
The death toll in China from COVID-19 has now reached 2,715 with over 78,000 infected. The World Health Organization has the experts there visited various hospitals in China's coronavirus hit Wuhan city. The visit comes as its chief warned countries to prepare for a potential pandemic of new coronavirus, calling the sudden increase in cases in Iran, Italy and South Korea deeply concerning. The head of the joint WHO Chinese mission on the outbreak urged authorities to prepare hospital beds, isolation zones and respirators for severe cases.
And Iran's Deputy Health Minister Iraj Harichi and a member of parliament have tested positive for the coronavirus as death toll inside the country rose to 16, and Iranians are worried that the authorities could be underestimating the scale of the outbreak. Iran has the highest number of coronavirus deaths outside China. Among the infected was the Deputy Health Minister, who posted a video online announcing his infection, which was shown on state media.
In Iraq, a massive protest was called off against his political opponents yesterday due to fears over the spread of coronavirus minutes after the health ministry urged citizens to avoid public gatherings. An Iraqi family of 4 who returned from a visit to Iran tested positive for the virus, the first Iraqis known to have caught the disease. The demonstrations were planned against Prime Minister designate Mohammad Tawfiq Alawi.
And officials from the World Health Organization and the European Union met in Rome yesterday to discuss coronavirus outbreak, which has now spread to almost 30 other countries and territories. Health ministers of countries bordering with Italy, that is France, Austria, Switzerland and Slovenia, gathered in Rome to discuss the international crisis sparked by the virus. Ministers from Croatia and Germany attended the meeting too, together with European Union Commissioner for Health and Italian Health Minister. The total number of cases in Italy, the country in Europe worst affected, rose to more than 280 from 229 on Monday. The number of deaths was unchanged at 7.
And let's now move on to business and finance news now, and talking about US President Donald Trump's visit. While he said that he had an incredible time in India during his visit, he said that while interacting with the business leaders in the national capital. Listen in.
We've had a tremendous time in India. Prime Minister Modi is a fantastic man doing a fantastic job. He's a real friend of mine, and he's done an incredible job, and we're working together, I would say, better than our countries have ever worked before. I know many of the people in the room by name and reputation. Incredible job that you've done. Incredible job that you've done. Really inspirational for not only your country, but really inspirational for anybody looking to be a successful business person, and there are plenty of them around. The job that you have all done is incredible.
And during the interaction with the top business leaders, the US President Donald Trump also spoke on coronavirus. He said that China is working very hard and that he has spoken with President Xi. He said that it looks like China is getting coronavirus under control.
We're watching very carefully, so we've had a very, very good stretch of, let's just say we're fortunate so far, and we think it's going to remain that way. China is working very, very hard. I've spoken to President Xi, and we're spending a tremendous amount of money also on, we just asked for $2.5 billion on getting everything ready just in case something should happen, and also helping other nations that really aren't equipped to do it.
And in sports, Chelsea's Champions League campaign is surely over after they were brutally outclassed by Bayern Munich in the last 16 first leg tie at Stamford Bridge. Former Arsenal star Serge Gnabry struck twice early in the second half after being set up by the outstanding Robert Lewandowski as Bayern won 3-0. Now this was Chelsea's heaviest ever home European defeat and their heaviest defeat at Stamford Bridge in any competition since January 2018. In another match, Barcelona grabbed an away goal as they came from behind to draw against Napoli in the first leg of their Champions League last 16 tie in Italy. Dries Mertens scored in the first half to become Napoli's joint top scorer of all times, level with Mark Hamsik on 121 goals. But Barcelona equalized after 57 minutes when Antoine Griezmann scored from Nelson Semedo's low cross. The return match takes place in Nou Camp on Wednesday, that is 18th March.
And let's now move on to our next segment, the morning print, to get you a glimpse of what the national dailies are carrying this morning. Let's begin with the top story first.
Yes, we'll pick up the Hindustan Times, that is the first paper. It has brought forth in detail US President Donald Trump's maiden visit to India. Modi and Trump upgrade partnership. This is the headline which summarizes the report. It says Modi, Trump ask Pakistan to ensure its territory is not used for terror attacks, calls for action against LAT and Jaish-e-Mohammed. In the bilateral talks, both the leaders also talked of defense deals worth $3 billion, and also they discussed energy pact as part of the global strategic ties.
Yes, and in fact, more coverage on US President Donald Trump's visit to India, and we have picked up also Economic Times for that. And this talks about Namaste Trump, focus on trade, defense as US President wraps up his short visit. Trump says US wants to be, in fact, he's spoken on bilateral commerce. And this is talking about Trump indicating trade deal with the tariff king India by year end. This is, of course, how the US President has indicated that the much awaited big trade deal with India could be concluded towards the end of the year, while reaffirming his stand that India charges, of course he's talking about the tariff there as well. And the column here also talks about how India and US have agreed to scale up relations in trade, security, technology sharing and regional stability as well. The progress made on defense, on trade, on energy and on terror as well, and US-India agreeing to jointly develop arms. Well, that has also been covered by this paper. And moving on now to some other news from this paper, and this is talking about how COVID-19 could impact the world economy. While investors are jittery, they are nervous as economists predict the outbreak could wipe out a huge chunk of the global GDP. The worrying prospect of the COVID-19 outbreak could become the first truly disruptive pandemic of the globalization era is renewing doubts over the stability of the world economy. And in fact, this is talking about how the health crisis could be enough to wipe more than $1 trillion from the global GDP. And there's also, in fact, an interview that's being carried by this newspaper of the Microsoft CEO, Satya Nadella. He's talking about hope the country remains a progressive democracy there. You have it. He's, in fact, termed himself as an India optimist and said that he hoped that the country of his birth continues to be a progressive democracy. He was, in fact, also saying that he thinks every country is going to define their own policies around immigration and national security in democracies. It's the people in the governments that decide. And he's also, in fact, spoken about how the policymakers should always think through what it means for the citizens, for Indian society, and also for the Indian entrepreneurs.
All right, that was it about the Economic Times. Up next, the story, the article which we pick is coming in from Hindustan Times. It says IF chief to visit MiG base in Jammu and Kashmir to mark the first year of Balakot strike. It quotes an IAF official. He says the air chief's visit is aimed at commemorating the Balakot strikes and the air action that is the following day. And with that, the next story we pick is coming in from the other paper, that is the Pioneer. The Pioneer bottom anchor story says Delhi tops the global list of polluted capitals. Worrisome reports there by the paper. It says India's national capital heads the list of most polluted capital cities of the world with an average of 98.6 PM, that is PM 22.5 concentration as per the World Air Quality Report released on Tuesday. Now, Delhi's satellite town Ghaziabad tops the list of the most polluted regional cities. So more or less this was what was printed in the papers here in Delhi. That was our segment Delhi Morning Print. Up next we'll get you the events which made this day special in history. Take a look.
It was on this day in 1886 that Gujarati poet Narmada Shankar Dave, alias Narmada, died. He was synonymous with Surat's identity. It was on this day in 1887 that Anandi Gopal Joshi, first South Asian female physician and the first Indian female physician to be trained in the tradition of Western medicine, passed away in Pune in Maharashtra. It was on this day in 1935 that Robert Alexander Watson Watt demonstrated the feasibility of the radar, radio detection and ranging to British Air Ministry officials, leading to a drastic change in warfare. It was on this day in 1966 that Vinayak Damodar Savarkar died after renouncing medicine, food and water on February 1st and fast until death in Mumbai. It was on this day in 1993 that a terrorist bomb exploded in a parking garage of the World Trade Center in New York City, leaving a crater 60 feet wide and causing the collapse of several steel reinforced concrete floors in the vicinity of the blast. It was on this day in 2019 that India's Air Force carried out airstrikes at Balakot in Pakistan, killing hundreds of terrorists in a training camp of Jaish-e-Mohammed.
And let's now move on, take a look at the events listed for today.
Myanmar President U Win Mint, along with First Lady Daw Cho Cho, scheduled to arrive on a 4-day visit to India to hold talks with the top leadership to deepen bilateral ties. The Myanmar president is also expected to visit Agra and Bodh Gaya following his official meetings in New Delhi. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs of New Zealand, Winston Peters, who is on a 4-day visit to India, scheduled to deliver a speech on Indo-Pacific at the Indian Council of World Affairs, followed by a meeting with External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar at Hyderabad House, New Delhi. Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman scheduled to unveil Enhanced Access and Service Excellence 3.0 and EASE 2.0 annual reports in New Delhi. EASE 3.0 is a smart tech-enabled banking for aspiring India. BJP President JP Nadda scheduled to deliver inaugural address at the 2-day-long Savarkar Sahitya Sammelan in New Delhi.
And up next, we'll get to the health report of the day. Diabetes, a major health problem. It is a serious, common, costly, yet manageable disease. Now, the chronic disease occurs when the pancreas are no longer able to make insulin, or when the body cannot make good use of the insulin it produces. Wherever you are at with this disease, know that you have the options and that you don't have to be held back. You can still live your best life. All you have to do is take action and stick to it. Take a look.
Diabetes is a major health concern worldwide. Diabetes is a condition that impairs the body's ability to produce insulin and process blood glucose, also known as blood sugar. Many lifestyle-related factors increase the risk of type 2 diabetes.
Diabetes is the most common metabolic disorder, and there is a genetic predisposition. People who have a family history of diabetes are the most important, especially when both the parents are suffering from diabetes. And then there are certain environmental factors also. The diabetic will first come to you, will notice that despite having a very good appetite, he is still losing weight. He has increased thirst, he is losing weight despite eating well, and he will feel very fatigued. Avoid fruits which are very sweet like mango, banana, chiku, grapes, and avoid all types of juices, and have plenty of green leafy vegetables, and have meals which are frequent, and not eat a lot at a time, but eat frequently, and lots of salads, lots of green leafy vegetables.
People with diabetes are more likely to develop certain other medical conditions. Global epidemic of obesity and overweight seen in young population is raising the diabetes incidence even in the young adults.
Initially, when diabetes is diagnosed, he should have a full profile of his blood sugar, fasting, PP, and HbA1c to know since when, since the last 3 months control, then the kidney function test, a lipid profile, a check of the blood pressure, and subsequently every 3 monthly, once the sugar is stable, then I think once in 3 months monitoring of the fasting and postprandial levels and the glycosylated hemoglobin levels, that is enough. Apart from that, if he is having hypertension, then control of blood pressure. If he is having raised cholesterol and altered lipid profile, control of his cholesterol.
People with pre-diabetes are at risk of developing type 2 diabetes. If a person has pre-diabetes, making healthful changes can help to stop the progression of type 2 diabetes. Kiran Bhardwaj, DD News.
And with a view to augment the income of the small and the marginal farmers, the government had launched the Pradhan Mantri Kisan Nidhi Yojana. The scheme aims to supplement the financial needs of the small and the marginal farmers by procuring various inputs to ensure proper crop health and appropriate yields commensurate with the anticipated farm income at the end of each crop cycle. And how the scheme is working at the Doordarshan district of Assam, let's get to know from this ground report.
Along with other parts of the country, one of the central's ambitious schemes, Pradhan Mantri Kisan Nidhi Yojana, has touched upon the farmers of Doordarshan district of Assam too. The scheme mainly aims at doubling the farmers' income by 2022. Around 1,14,347 beneficiaries from the district have purchased the farming equipments along with seeds, fertilizers with the help of financial assistance received under the scheme.
I have received 4 installments totaling rupees 8,000 so far that have helped me a lot in farming. First, I have used a few amounts to pay laborers who work in the paddy fields and then purchased fertilizers after that. During harvesting of potato and other crops also, I have spent some money. It has helped people like us in many ways.
Besides that, each beneficiary would also receive additional 6,000 rupees, 2,000 every 4 months. Most of the beneficiaries have already received the amount meant for them. Ground Report Desk, DD News.
We'll get to another important and a nice story. It is the folk and diverse elements of Assam that have enriched the literature of the state. It has a long legacy since time unknown and is still being maintained by the present-day laureates. Take a look.
Assamese language and literature has its own flavor, with diverse ethnic culture and social ethos which makes it rich. About 18 different communities with different culture, language and dialects live in Assam, enriching its repository of language and literature. Being the lingua franca between communities since time immemorial, the Assamese language and literature gets its new height. Great Assamese saint, come social reformer of the state, Srimanta Shankardev, an Islamic preacher from Assam, Azan Fakir, with their vivid creations, started enriching Assamese literature since the 15th and 16th centuries.
तो शंकरदेव और आजान फकीर ने इसको उठा लिया, तो उठा के वो लोग ने इसका व्यापक प्रसार कर दिया, जो मास एक प्रसार कर दिया। उसका बाद जो वो लोग ने लोकोगीत, बरगीत, कीर्तन घोषा नाम के जो बुक है, फेमस बुक है असम का, तो ये सब लिटरेचर ये लोग ने लिखा।
Maintaining the legacy of these masters of past literature, the present writers and authors of the state have taken the Assamese language into its highest level with their unique creations. There are uncounted names who represent Assam, who have brought various laurels to the state and made the people of Assam proud. It is now widely believed that an initiative to popularize the folk literature of the state in other parts of the country would create something that would astound the world. Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat, Desk, DD News.
And we have been talking about the many takeaways from the US President Donald Trump's visit to India and taking that forward. Well, here's a report. And President Trump won millions of hearts with his address at the Motera Stadium, and that was an excellent example of establishing a people-to-people connect. He spoke of the commonalities between India and the US on many levels. President Trump hailed the contributions of the 4 million strong NRI community in the US. And his reference to Bollywood was an instant hit with the crowd. Take a look at this report.
All over the planet, people take great joy in scenes of Bhangra, music, dance, romance and drama, and classic Indian films like DDLJ and Showj.
A president who knows how to connect. And what better way to woo Indians and the Indian diaspora than taking the Bollywood route? While Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge firmly established an NRI connect and went on to make history as not just a box office super hit, but also among the longest running films ever. Released in 1997, the film made 16 crore 68 lakh rupees overseas.
तेरा क्या होगा कालिया? सरदार, मैंने आपका नमक खाया सरदार.
And surely is a film that rings a bell across generations across the world. This isn't the first time that an American president has referred to DDLJ. In 2015, Barack Obama had also won hearts.
Señorita, bude desho mein. You know what I mean. So
before the visit began, President Trump retweeted a Bahubali meme that went viral. And the Bollywood Connect doesn't just end at a people-to-people link. India serves as a much sought-after location for several Hollywood blockbusters,
Steve Jobs' departure, the future of Apple,
which is a source of revenue for India. President Trump also drew several other parallels between India and the United States of America.
This is the country that built the tallest statue on the face of the earth to honor the namesake of this stadium, the great Indian patriot and native of this state, Sardar Patel.
President Trump said that Indian festivals like Diwali have now reached the White House, thanks to the 4 million Indian Americans living in the United States.
India is the country where hundreds of millions of light candles to celebrate the triumph of good over evil at Diwali. And it's where, just days from now, Indians of all faiths will pour out onto the streets to celebrate the beautiful festival of Holi.
That two nations share so much in common bridges the continents that separate them, and when the leadership shares an unparalleled chemistry, this Bollywood number says it all. Bureau Report, TV News.
All right, Diwali, Holi, Bollywood, the President's address at Motera Stadium was well thought, well scripted, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yes, and with that, let's now move on, take a look at the weather conditions for today.
Alright, that brings us to the end of this edition of Breakfast Show this morning. We'll be back again tomorrow, same time.
Yes, but before we go today, we are leaving you with the glimpses of a robot snake developed at the Johns Hopkins University that could help advance search and rescue technology. Take a look at how it could do that, and we wish you a great day ahead. Thanks for being with us.